Forza Horizon 4 and 5 are the two most recent Horizon games to date. As of right now, the amount of time both of them have had in active development is about the same, considering Horizon 4's development pretty much stopped soon after the announcement of Horizon 5. So how exactly do they stack up against each other? And has Playground Games just been sleeping for the past few years, or has the franchise actually made a step forward? All of that will be answered in the coming minutes. So let's get into it. First of all, let's talk about the countries. FH4 is set in Great Britain, with FH5 set in Mexico. As you can see on this graph, Great Britain's economy is in a far better state. Okay, forget that. Let's actually talk about the games themselves. So in terms of the map, which is arguably the most important aspect of a Horizon game, Horizon 5's map is considerably larger than that of Horizon 4. Both maps feature historic cities. Horizon 4 has Edinburgh, which, despite being quite a historic city, it actually features a few somewhat modern buildings in the game, along with several famous landmarks, most notably Edinburgh Castle. Overall, Edinburgh was quite a nice city, and its straight, wide roads are very accommodating to a Horizon game. Horizon 5, on the other hand, has Guanajuato. I hope I pronounced that correctly. This is a far more ancient city, and in many ways feels just a bit too ancient for a Horizon game. It's also not the most interesting city, as it feels a little bit dead. However, the colourful buildings certainly look cool, and the underground tunnel complex certainly makes it a bit more fun. As for sand dunes, Horizon 5 has a vast array of them, as it has a massive desert. When you compare them to the sand dunes on the beach of Bambara in Horizon 4, it really does make them look abysmal. They're just a bit too small and steep, so it's hard to take them with any speed without just nosediving into the next dune. A clear W for Horizon 5 there. However, in terms of forestation, Horizon 4 stands strong, as most of the map is taken up by forests. Horizon 5, on the other hand, just has a bit of forest along the bottom of the map, although Horizon 5's forest is a jungle, in contrast to the woodlands of Horizon 4, so they both feel quite different, and it ultimately just comes down to which type of forest you prefer. As for the highways, Horizon 4's highway was just rubbish. It was nowhere near straight enough for proper top speed runs, so we never really got to find out the true top speed of that Ferrari 599XX Evo, which was the fastest car in the game, simply because you'd lose too much speed taking those turns. While Horizon 5's highway has those irritating bumps, it at least serves the purpose of what a highway should be for in a Horizon game. An often overlooked key factor to a map being good is undulation, and this is really what made Horizon 4's map quite interesting to drive around, because if you come up to a high point and have a look around, there's hills and mountains everywhere. Whereas if we do likewise in Horizon 5, all the other hills and mountains are beyond what you can drive on, so the map itself is generally quite flat aside from the volcano. Horizon 5's map also just lacks points of interest, like mud kickers or the quarry that Horizon 4's map had. As Horizon 5's map is mostly just taken up by desert, it actually leaves the map feeling quite empty overall. So while on paper it does have a better map overall, it's certainly debatable as to whether or not it's a more interesting and enjoyable map to drive around and explore. Keeping somewhat on topic, let's talk about seasons, or lack of them in Horizon 5, because let's face it, Horizon 5 really only has one season, whereas Horizon 4 had spring, summer and autumn, which all felt quite similar, but then it had winter, which completely transformed the entire map. The snowed over roads and the frozen lakes were just so much fun to drive on, and it visually looked so cool seeing the entire map snowed over. However, the way it was implemented was perhaps a bit frustrating, as it locked you into the seasons in free roam, which got quite irritating when it was winter and you would struggle to drive certain cars because of how little grip there was. So seasons is a very subjective feature. It was certainly a nice idea, but badly implemented in Horizon 4. While Horizon Horizon 5 doesn't have the drawbacks of real seasons, it also doesn't have the benefits either. Shifting topics to houses, Horizon 4 just did it so much better. You're free to disagree, but if you disagree, I'm sorry, your opinion is just wrong. Firstly, Horizon 4 had 13 houses, so surely Horizon 5 with a far bigger map should have about 20, right? Yeah, well it has 7. But it gets worse. The best house in Horizon 5 is Hotel Castillo. Okay, it's not bad, but it's absolutely nothing compared to Edinburgh Castle and Bamborough Castle in Horizon 4. And then, along with that, most of the houses in Horizon 5 just look so basic. They don't even look like player houses, they just look like the normal houses in the game. At least Horizon 4's player houses looked more special than the other houses that were around. Anyway, a likely reason for the lack of player houses in Horizon 5 is the compensating Horizon festivals. Horizon 4 just had one big festival, but Horizon 5's main festival in itself beats that, while also having 5 other festival sites scattered around the map. I personally preferred the way Horizon 4 did the festival, just because I am not a massive fan of the festivals at all. But if you are a fan of the festivals, then you'll certainly prefer the way Horizon 5 does it. Next, we have another very important aspect to any Forza game, or any car game for that matter, and that is the cars themselves. It obviously goes without saying that Horizon 5 has a larger car list that overall is just better. However, Horizon 4 had quite a few special, unique cars that Horizon 5 doesn't have. To name a few, we had the Quartz Regalia monster truck, which was quite a beast. Then we had the Cyberpunk Quadra VTEC, which was very unique. We also had an entire James Bond car pack, which included several special James Bond edition cars, such as the famous Lotus Esprit submarine. On top of that, we had the Volkswagen IDR, which had ridiculous grip and acceleration. We also had the Top Gear Traktor, which dominated A-Class until it was banned. And lastly, the V10 diesel Volkswagen Touareg, which sounded pretty mean. Speaking of car sounds, let's take a comparison. Here is a Ferrari 488 Pista in Horizon 4 first, then in Horizon 5. Maybe this isn't the best car to test it with, because it actually was one of the better sounding cars from Horizon 4, but overall Horizon 5 is definitely a step up on the car sounds. Or at least out in the open, because the echoes of the tunnel, well, let's just let it speak for itself. I think we can all agree that the echoes in Horizon 4 just sound far better. One final thing on the car sounds is also the fact that they change in Horizon 5 with upgrades. And when you toss on the anti-lagging turbo, the popcorn machine sounds properly good. Moving on, we just have a minor little thing that annoys me whenever I play Horizon 5 in cockpit view, and that is the fact that the flappy paddles don't move when you change gear. You see the hand of your character moving, but nothing happens with the paddle itself. However, in Horizon 4, well, yeah, the paddles actually move when you change gears. I know it's only a minor detail, but why would they take a step back on the minor details like this? It just makes no sense. Next up, we have something less minor, and that is the expansions. Both games have one fiction kind of expansion map, along with one realistic one. So it makes sense to first of all compare LEGO Speed Champions with Hot Wheels. The Hot Wheels one from Horizon 5 is certainly cooler than LEGO Speed Champions, and far more thrilling to race around. However, the LEGO one from Horizon 4 had much more explorability. So as a Horizon map, the LEGO one was better, but from the fun point of view, it's the Hot Wheels one that takes it. As for the realistic maps, both Fortune Island from Horizon 4 and Rally Adventure Adventure from Horizon 5 feel fairly similar to the main maps. The main thing that Fortune Island had was the legendary Needle Climber mountain road, which was perfect for drifting. However, Rally Adventure is obviously the perfect rally testing ground, and it actually implemented far more to the game than Fortune Island did. Rally Adventure has a decent progression system, which just can't be said for Fortune Island. So overall, with the expansions, I think it's safe to say Horizon 5 has the better ones. In terms of the progression in both games, there's just no real sense of it, but particularly in Horizon 5, because you start off by getting given a new C8 Corvette with a wide-body kit, as well as a tuned Supra and a Ford Bronco, all for free. That's 3 very decent cars that players should be aspiring to purchase, but they just get them like that without having to do anything. Whereas in Horizon 4, you had to make a choice. You could pick between the Ford Focus RS, Audi TT, and Dodge Charger. In real life, these are all quite decent cars, but in terms of Forza Horizon, they're all quite slow, and driving them for a good hour or so at the start of the game until you could get something better was a nice touch of progression that you just don't get in Horizon 5. With that said, both Horizon 5 expansion maps have decent progression systems, particularly Hot Wheels that limits you to slower cars at first. Moving on to the graphics, there's really not that much to write home about. I mean, here's Horizon 4, and then here's Horizon 5. The reflections of the sunbeams in Horizon 5 is better, and that's about it. Although that's pretty much to be expected nowadays, because we've reached a point where the graphics look so close to real life that there's not really a lot more that can be done to make it look any closer. Features-wise, both games are mostly the same. Event Labs is really the only big feature Horizon 5 has that Horizon 4 doesn't, and it's certainly not one to overlook, because a good Event Labs map can completely transform the game and make it feel like a whole different country. Horizon 4 technically had this in the form of Horizon Super 7, however that had such a restricted prop selection and wouldn't allow you to create races with your custom maps, so it was really just a beta version of Event Labs. Event Labs creator tools in Horizon 5 are far better, as there's an extremely diverse and growing selection of props you can use, as well as the ability to snap platforms together to line them up to perfection. As for customization, Horizon 4 really lacked. Horizon 5, however, is more where it should be, as it has a decent range of wide body kits as well as a brilliant selection of wheels, and something that Horizon 4 should have had but didn't, the ability to paint brakes. Now we move on to the physics. Horizon 4's physics made the cars feel like they have more weight to them, and the tyres slip felt more authentic too. Whereas in Horizon 5, the cars felt quite light, and generally the handling model makes cars very much on the understeer side of things, to the point where you basically can't oversteer. For online, Horizon 4's Horizon Live sessions just felt so alive. There was other players everywhere, and I don't know if it's just me, but generally everyone was just really friendly, in contrast to Horizon 5, where even at points of interest, you're lucky to see more than 1 or 2 players, and when you do see them, they often just ignore you. It probably has to do with the fact that in Horizon 4, other players would only ghost when you go inside their car, whereas in Horizon 5, they ghost when you get anywhere near, so it doesn't really feel like they're there in the same way. On a more controversial topic, we have left versus right-hand driving. Horizon 4 does it correctly, as you drive on the left. However, there weren't really enough right-hand drive cars in the game to go with it, so most of the cars, the steering wheel is on the wrong side for the road. However, in Horizon 5, that's not the case, and the roads match the side that most of the cars in the game have the wheel on. On the topic of steering wheels, we have wheel support. Now, in no Horizon game is the wheel support really that good. However, in Horizon 4, it at least feels like you're driving a car, whereas in Horizon 5, it just feels like driving a cloud. The car feels so light, and the force feedback just lacks so much detail. Finally, we have the music. Now, I personally don't ever use the radio, and even if you yourself do, it will be very subjective as to which game has better songs, but I'll just say this. With my uneducated ears, the songs around the festival, and when loading into races, just had a much better vibe in Horizon 4. So overall, you have 2 great Horizon games that both have their drawbacks. As to which is best, is up to you to decide. But all I'll say is, if you were to buy one of them now, Horizon 5 is certainly the better buy, purely because of the new content that keeps getting added. And that's everything there is to say. Tell us your favourite in the comments, and of course be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.